Praram with the Hal. Let's begin with the main stories. Acting Chief Justice Deepak Raj Joshi recommended for the post of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Appointment after parliamentary hearing concludes. Railways, monorails and tunnels among glossy announcements made by the provincial governments. Ambitious plans seemingly feeble against weak financial resources. The world community held historic Trump-Kim summit, but some of the outcomes startled Tokyo and Seoul, US lawmakers and the parts of Pentagon. And FIFA World Cup 2018 all set to begin tomorrow in Russia. 32 nations contest at the most coveted football tournament of the planet. Let us begin with the latest national political updates. The first meeting of the Constitutional Council under Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli held yesterday has recommended Acting Chief Justice Deepak Raj Joshi for the post of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The Judicial Council had previously recommended to the Constitutional Council the names of Justices Om Prakash Mishra and Cholendra Shamsher Rana for the post of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court along with Joshi. For his appointment, Joshi will have to undergo the parliamentary hearing process. Despite the Parliament's approval of the regulation, Joshi will have to wait a few more days for the hearing as the process of committee formation is still underway. The 3-month-long uncertainty regarding the leadership of the judiciary came to an end after Deepak Raj Joshi was recommended as the 28th Chief Justice. However, Joshi, who started his career 27 years ago as an additional judge at the appellate court, has had his own share of rocky experiences. Joshi had faced wide criticism following his appointment as the Justice at the Supreme Court from the Appellate Court 4 years ago. Despite the debates seen in the past over his appointment, Joshi will now be the one to shoulder the responsibility of clearing the judiciary of its corrupt mechanism, evidently escalated during the tenure of former Chief Justice Gopal Prasad Parasuli. Once officially appointed, Joshi's main challenge will be to improve the image of the judiciary that has been seen as a corrupt body in recent times. Should the Parliament endorse his appointment, Joshi will assume office by the 10th of October. The provincial governments that are in a competitive mode at the moment have made attractive announcements for development that includes projects like tunnel roads and railways in a bid to look more ambitious than other provincial governments. However, regardless of the announcements, questions arise over whether these ambitious projects are practically attainable. Karnali province has announced of carrying out a feasibility study to construct tunnel roads and railways from Ranighat to Bardia's Bhurigaon, Janskot's Musla to Totla and Dailek's Vimsen to Kalikot's Dillikot. Likewise, Karnali's plans also include cable cars at different places, increasing the per capita of its people to $2,100 within 5 years and producing up to 5,000 megawatts of hydroelectricity in the next 10 years. The announcements made by Province 1 were no less. Their plans include feasibility studies for Biratnagar Dharan monorail, Dharan Bheretar cable cars in Namche, Sagarmatha base camp, and waterways extending from Chatara Kimathanka and Chatara Sunkosi. Province 3 has put forth national pride projects like Saku Fateshwar and Vimfedi Kulekhani tunnels and provincial ring roads. The government of Province 3 has also declared of suspending all vehicles that run on petroleum in Kathmandu, Chitwan, Hetoda, Banepa, Dhulikhel and Panoti within the next 10 years. It is an old practice of the government to present decorative plans and projects and then neglect them on the implementation part. Given the announcements made by the provinces seem far-fetched against their and the authority given to the provincial government, it is questionable if the provinces will see the projects come to life. It is now time for a short break, but for more news, to stay with us. The Indian government had acquired hundreds of bighas of land in Saptari and Sunsari around 73 years ago in order to construct the Saptakosi River Bridge. However, despite the lapse of more than 7 decades, people affected during the acquisition process have not received any compensation as of yet. At least 3 generations have suffered away and many are suffering due to the lack of any concrete diplomatic efforts from the Nepal government. The Indian government constructed the Kosi barrage with 56 gates in 1994 across the Saptakosi River. Dhaneswar Mazi of Baradaha was 29 years old at that time and had just given birth to his son Kapleswar Mazi. Kapleswar is 73 years old now, while Dhaneswar has already passed away. After his father's death, Kapleswar and his son Gazendra have been making rounds of Nepal-India government units for the compensation amounts they are entitled to. Kalpeswar belongs to just one among 4,000 families across Saptari, Sunsari and Udaipur. At least 600 bighas of land was taken from Saptari's Baradha alone during the construction of the Kosi barrage. Likewise, the Indian government had acquired almost 13,000 bighas of land from Sunsari and Udaipur. However, neither the Nepal government nor the Indian side has an accurate record of the total agricultural land that was taken from almost 4,000 of these families. Following continuous floods that affected the productivity of the lands caused by the construction of Kosi barrage, the two governments signed an agreement whereby the Indian government agreed to build schools, hospitals, roadways and facilitate the Kosi victims in irrigation. However, none of the promises have been fulfilled, leaving the problems of these families as it is. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why have 3 generations of people affected by the Kosi barrage not received their compensation yet? Your options are A. Lack of diplomatic initiatives, B. Lack of pressure, and C. Not in priority. The voting is on. You can type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and then send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. And yesterday we asked the residents of Jhapa, Surkhet and Kantipur what they think of the ambitious project announcements made by each provinces. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
आफ्नो अफिसकै शुद्ध अहिले चाहिँ एउटा व्यवस्थापन हुन नसकेको अवस्थामा ठुला ठुला योजनाहरू कति लागू गर्न सकिन्छ, कति त्यसलाई निर्माण गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने एउटा चुनौती छ।
सबै कुराहरू मिल्ने हो भनेदेखि मात्रै सम्भव छ हैन, नभएदेखि तपाईको यो योजना छनौट गरेर मात्रै ठुलै जना ल्याए भनेर मात्रै चाहिँ यो हामीले त्यो ढुका पर्ने अवस्था चाहिँ मैले देखिन।
गर्न सके भने सम्भवै हो भनेर मात्रै हुँदैन, बजेटहरु आयो सरकारमा भने गर्न सकिने सम्भव हो।
नेताहरूले आफ्नो शासन सत्तालाई जोगाउन र टिकाउनका निमित्त आफ्नो होडबाजीलाई अगाडि राख्या जस्तो हामीलाई लाग्छ।
यो सपनामा मात्रै होला जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ। यो कार्यान्वयन पक्षमा र व्यवहारमा कुनै यहाँ एक तिलको दाना जति कार्यान्वयन पक्षमा यो जाला र लग्लान जस्तो मलाई लाग्छ।
विगतका पुराना योजनाहरूलाई पनि अधुरा योजनाहरू पनि पुरा गर्नु उहाँहरूको प्रमुख दायित्व हुनुपर्दछ। योजना मात्रै ल्याएर त्यसको कुनै अर्थ छैन।
Time now for some sports news.
Sports news.
Participating or non-participating, the majority of the nations across the world is prepped up to welcome the football extravaganza FIFA World Cup that is to kick off tomorrow. Nepal being no exception in this regard. Public places and streets are full of football fans donning the jerseys of their favorite nations at the World Cup this time around. Football is one of the most favored sport in Nepal, and football fans enjoy watching their favorite team play with their jerseys on. As the tournament grows closer, the business of jerseys in Kathmandu and other cities have skyrocketed, and businessmen are having a hard time fulfilling the growing demand. The scene at majority of sports shops almost looks like some festival is taking place. There are football fans buying jerseys not just for them but for their whole family as well, and these jerseys range from 500 rupees to 7,000 rupees. The rate at which World Cup jerseys are being sold at the moment only shows that football fans of Nepal are more than excited to see the tournament start. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.